Hey everyone, it's Crystal. I am getting married in October of 2019. The very best part of the wedding planning process so far, I have to admit, has been the tasting. If you're a bride or a groom embarking on this journey of planning for your wedding, and if you're serving food, you have to do the wedding tasting. And this video is for you. Here are my 5 tips to maximize your wedding tasting experience. The greatest thing about weddings is that there are traditions and there are templates, but all of that stuff can be thrown out the window. If you know what you want, you can make that day whatever you want it to be. If you're a bride and a groom who knows exactly what you want and it's never been done before, or you haven't seen your friends and family do it, so what? If you want it, make it happen. That's the most exciting part. Tip number 1 is to invite your wedding planner. This person is responsible for making the day a cohesive guest experience for the people who attend your wedding, as well as for you. I mean, you're going to be determining what's going to be on your menu. That's a big deal. Having her there is why you pay her. Having her there to give her expertise and her opinions is definitely a good idea. In addition to your wedding planner, I had my in-laws there, and it was very helpful to have their perspectives because even though the bride and the groom, the day is all about them, you also want to optimize around what the majority of your guests will really enjoy. At least for me and Ramsey, my fiance, we really want to make sure that people have a great time. It's not so much about us. We want to put on the menu what they will enjoy. And it was just the right number of people. It was his parents, Ramsey and I, and our planners, so 5 people. Any more than that, and I would have felt like there were too many chefs in the kitchen, too many opinions. It would have just led to decision-making paralysis, especially since we all had very different preferences. So no more than 5, and make sure that those 5 are folks you really trust, like your wedding coordinator or your planner, or in-laws and folks who have, honestly, taste that you agree with. Good taste. Tip number 2 is to think about what your guests would really enjoy. It's easy during a wedding to fall into the bride and groom want this, so it's their way kind of trap. And like I said earlier, there are no rules, so there's nothing wrong with that. But Ramsey and I really have attended a number of weddings, and the ones that we really enjoy most have been experiences that have been set up from the perspective of a guest. Would a guest really enjoy this? Would this be too spicy for grandpa? Do these sauces have nuts? For the folks who have allergies, just keep in mind that you're really planning to optimize for the majority of people having a really good experience. Try to be a little selfless in that regard because people will be traveling and spending time to attend your special day. The least you can do is design a menu around what the majority of them would really like. So for instance, Ramsey and I really liked 2 types of salads. The salad that he and I would have ordered is not the salad that we ultimately put on the menu because we were optimizing for ingredients that were going to be edible for most people. There are a lot of California folks coming, and that does include the vegan, gluten-free, calorie-free, flavor-free, fat-free, all-natural, anti-slavery, diet-friendly, healthy food that my beloved Californians are so well known for. You want to orient the tasting around what your guests will enjoy and pick what they would love. They are coming to you, and the least you can do is scratch their back a bit. Tip number 3 is to be 100% honest. And it's not to say to insult the chef directly if you think that it's awful, but be honest about what your expectations are and if a dish has met or exceeded them. If you like something, but it could be improved by a couple of tweaks, make sure to communicate that. The best catering managers really want to make your day special and they want to hit the nail on the head. So if you're able to communicate that and set those expectations and just have that free-flowing two-way street kind of dialogue, you're going to have a much better time walking away from the tasting feeling like they heard you and that you're going to be that much closer to the dream menu that you'll be serving for your guests. Tip number 4 is to ask to meet the chef. We had a chance to meet our chef, and he was from St. Thomas, and I can really tell that he brought a lot of his upbringing and his own culinary expertise into these dishes. The chef created the menu, so that person will be able to answer your questions, and if you have an idea, that person will tell you if it's possible or not. It's also fun because we're human and we like to see the people who create our food. I don't know anyone who doesn't like meeting the chef. It's kind of an moment when you're at a restaurant, the chef comes out, he's in his white coat. It's kind of cool. cool to meet the chef. Tip number 5 is to take pictures of what you ate. And I recommend this for 2 reasons. The first reason is that a longer tasting has lots of different bites. You got multiple hors d'oeuvres, you might have a couple of salads, a couple of entrees to choose from, and then a wedding cake. The best part. Having photos will help you reference back to what you liked and what you didn't like, because without photos or notes, I honestly would forget. And having all of that is very helpful when you ultimately decide what to email over to the caterer as being your final choices. The other reason is if you are a millennial like me, after all, our generation was the one that created the idea of a wedding hashtag, photos are everything. If you didn't take a picture of it, did it really happen? Having dishes that photograph well and can be shared easily on social media, that's really an extension of you and the choices you've made as a couple. You can put on your little marketing hat and make sure that the food looks good. After all, we eat with our eyes first. Those were my 5 tips for how to maximize your wedding tasting. Congratulations to all you brides and grooms out there who are about to embark on this little journey together. Love is real. If you liked the video or it was helpful at all, please give it a like or subscribe, and we'll see you next time.